Good evening, everyone. Is anybody home? I hope so. Playing a little Madonna here. Welcome to the Money Date. My name is Anna Surgunina, and I am excited to be here with you today. And it's been a great week for me so far. I hope you are doing well as well. Now, we're going to get in the meat discussion of our session today, and that is wedding season is right here around the corner, and I'm sure that many of you are going to be attending weddings, all kinds of different places, friends and family. And so I want you to be smart with your decisions and your money when you're going to plan for something like that. And I hope you do actually have enough time to plan. Now, that's the meat of our discussion today. But as you guys know, Money Date is almost a year old. We're about to celebrate our 1-year birthday next month. But all this time, I've been coming here on live and discussing with you just a couple of simple things, habits, right, that you can put in place to give yourself that peace of mind that you want in order to be financially independent. You know, that's really the term these days. It's not about retirement. It's not about, it is about that, but it's not the priority. The priority is financial independence. And for many of us, it means different things. And I'm a big believer in simple things, right? In simplifying anything possible so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Now, the 3 things that I want you to focus on every time that you think about your finances, and they are how much expenses did we have for over the last week, how much money did we make, and what was our savings goal. So these are the 3 things, right? Can you see 3 things that we always need to have an answer? And you know what? It is really easy to do this on the phone. You have smartphones. Get yourself an application that allows you to passively track those kinds of things. I love Mint. I've spent, over the last couple of days, I spent enormous amount of time helping my clients set up their accounts so that they can start aggregating their transactions, so they can start pulling their data and actually having live picture. Okay, now you guys know me. This is the basis, this is the foundations. Those are the things that I feel most of you are overwhelmed. But if you can put these passive systems in place to help you manage your flow of income, right, and outflow of expenses, then at the end of the day, all you really gonna have to do is focus on achieving your goals, right? And that's really what we're trying to accomplish, getting to that financial independence point. Do you need to make more money? Then that's the focus of what you need to be striving for. Do you need to cut down expenses somewhere? That's fine. But until you start measuring and understanding where you are, you wouldn't know. Hi, Jane. Good to have you here. Thanks for hopping on. So I start with those basics. Now, you guys, thanks for hopping on. As you getting settled in, please share this out. As you're sharing this out, let folks know why they need to watch Money Dates and what do they need to learn by spending their valuable time with us today. I always appreciate your comments, your feedback, your suggestions. So as we get closer to talking about the actual topic, feature topic of our session today, I wanted to pause and ask you a question. And as you are hopping on, maybe you can drop a comment in the chat and let me know. But you know the question. The typical question on the Money Date is, do you have a money win? What has happened awesome, positive, exciting, right, fulfilling in your week over the last 7 days? You know, it could be really anything. It could be something that you didn't even think about that makes, you know, a lot of sense. But now that I'm asking you to think about it, what is it? The reason for this question, my friends, is that I want you to start giving yourself positive, gratifying moments. Because, I find myself that my days are just flying by. It's been crazy busy with, with work and personal commitments, and sometimes just these little moments, right? And it really does not take any time at all, that give you this additional energy, right, within, so that you can continue going with whatever it is that you set to do. So I'll share my money win. I always do that. Hi, April. Good to have you here. So my money win for the week is that I am starting to cook more. And this is my little kitchen here at home. I almost never do any money dates at home because I'm usually in an office or on the road somewhere. That has not changed and probably isn't going to change that much going forward. But what I'm trying to do, and I am a good cook, and I can pat myself on the back for that. But what happened over the last couple of years is that I sort of put that on the back burner. I actually love to do the cooking. So I'm trying to find more time in my day, right, so that I can devote that to, cooking a really nice dinner. And so that's kind of my goal. I planned out a couple of recipes for the next week. So tonight I'm making fish tacos with freshly roasted corn. Hi, Bonnie. Good to have you here. I hope you enjoyed the wedding. Oh my goodness. I watched some of Danielle's postings, and I believe somehow you guys are connected, both of you, to the wedding. So yes, so that's my goal. And that's kind of, I came to a point of realization that it just can't be all go, go, go. It can't be just all about, I've got to find things to do where I can put my energy and enjoy. Hi, Alberto. Good to have you. I've got to find the time and energy, right, that, and, within that I can put into something that I actually really enjoy. So it's time. The other thing, and I'll share maybe that with you next week, but I'm going to share that next week. I want to say it's not quite a win yet, but it's another idea of something that I want to do and spend more time on. So, all right. Thank you guys for getting on here. Let me know what your money wins are. You just heard mine. So type in the chat. Let me know what has been awesome for you. But always something that's positive, something that's gratifying, something that you're happy about will have some kind of connection to your finances. There's just no way around. So I wanted to chat to you about a very interesting topic because I think we're all going to face the situation where wedding season is here, and I always thought about wedding season being sort of, May, April, maybe starting as early as April, May, June, July, right? Summer months. Yuri and I got married in June. Our 13th wedding anniversary is coming up. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? So it's June 3rd. I'm sure I'll be talking about that again pretty soon. But as we all getting closer into that, and Bonnie, you just attended a wedding. There's what I wanted to talk about is this something that you can actually plan for ahead of time, right? And what are some of the smart decisions regarding your finances you can put in place, right? Because I think the very uncomfortable situation you want to find yourself is when you've been invited, right? Or you want to go, and you're going to find yourself saying no to something like that. So I've got a few tips and ideas of how you can do something like that. But as I'm thinking more about this wedding season, I've got friends. My brother got married in December last year. I mean, that was totally out of the wedding season. So I think the wedding season is on all year long. So, whatever it is, let's be prepared, right? So that you can actually spend that fun time, because it is fun time. These are good and positive moments, and I think we all work hard for. So here are the 3 tips that I think I want you to think about. Now, we are on social media all the time. We are sharing. There's just these days to kind of keep a secret that somebody's getting married is probably going to be impossible. So the minute you see that there's some kind of post, right, of a happy couple sharing their moment, that there's an engagement, you've got to start thinking about, is there a possibility for me that I'm going to be attending that wedding, right? I think aside from all of the other positive and exciting feelings you have, what are the possibility and the chance of you actually having to attend that wedding? I know it's probably a little bit more clear path when it is a family member, right, or somebody close to you, but what if it's a friend, right? So think about that first. Now, so the minute you see some kind of posts on social media, I think it's good to think about that. Now, I actually looked up some statistics. So the wedding site called The Knot estimates that the average engagement lasts about 15 months. So that's a long time. If you think about if that's an average, then maybe sometimes people take even longer to get married. So I think it's a long enough time if you had that much notice to actually get ready and plan, right? And I'm really talking about planning from the perspective of your finances. So now, if you know that's the case, then what are some of the things that you need to start thinking about? Obviously, there's going to be expenses associated with, buying your own attire, traveling, right? So I guess kind of a broader picture, it's almost like having to come up with the own budget of what that's going to be like. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 weddings that we went to last year, and did I have 15 months to prepare? Actually, not at all. And there were quite different weddings in 2 different parts of the world. So it really just was all over the map, but Yuri and I were excited to go. So now, here's some statistical cost. And when I saw this, again, this is coming from the Knot, wedding site called The Knot. I honestly think that people tend to spend a lot more money, and you've got to, that's why I'm emphasizing even more that you've got to plan ahead. So a couple of things. So if you're attending a wedding as a wedding party member, so the average cost in 2017 was $730, right? If you're attending a wedding as a close friend or a family member, right, that's about $630. And then if you're attending a wedding as a distant or family friend, that's about $370. Now, this includes things like gifts, attire, travel, right? If you have to go to a bridal shower or a bachelorette parties. Now, even though if you think about $730, I think there's quite a bit more money that goes into that. I think it will all depend on kind of what kind of attire you're going to buy, where you have to travel for the wedding, and so forth. So I really think you need to plan more than just a higher number if you're a close friend, to the wedding party. So with that in mind, I'll give you an example. So the 2 weddings that we went to last year, one wedding was in Maui, so that's exciting. It's actually, it was really more of Yuri and I wanted to go to Hawaii, and so we convinced our friends, Elena and Andre, that they need to get married because we wanted to have a party and wanted to see them get married on the beach, which was phenomenal, right? It was just the most amazing time that we spent together. But I can tell you today that we spent by far more than $730 on that wedding. Now, we worked around that and turned the trip to Hawaii, into our mini vacation, right, / wedding. But it probably was in, not a few thousand, it was probably close to $4,000 for the entire trip. Because tickets alone to Maui cost, about $500 or $600, depending when you go. And we went right in August, which is considered to be, a season for a vacation. So, I mean, and again, I'm not sure how these numbers are calculated. This is talked about being, average and statistical, but who knows? So my point exactly here is that it's going to cost you more than you anticipate, right? And maybe perhaps you want to give a gift, right, that is more than you actually ever thought. So let's start by thinking, what kind of budget can you put together? Now, once we sort of identify the cost and we know that we have a timeline, right? Let's say we have 6 months or we have 12 months to plan. How and where are we going to save for something like that, right? And see, notice I'm always talking, so that's my tip number 2. I'm always looking at it from the perspective is, can we plan ahead? I have this planning mind. I think that's, one of the things I really, really, truly enjoy, whether it's doing financial planning or other things. I kind of always think like 10 steps ahead. What would it be required for me to get there? And sort of picture what it's going to be the ending point and work it backwards. So if you want to use those numbers that I shared with you, that's fine. I would really budget a lot more than that for the weddings that you're trying to attend. Maybe you don't have to travel, to Hawaii for a wedding and it's something local, but still, anywhere in the US you have to go, it's a few $100 just for a plane ticket. So think about how and where you're going to save. Now, I like to have specific buckets for certain goals that I'm saving. Online savings accounts these days are very easy to open. They have pretty decent rates. Do you guys know? So savings rates are close to 2%. I mean, this is fantastic in the low rate environment we're in. So I think what I'm trying to say here is that as you're planning to get as you're planning for that goal, perhaps maybe you can find discretionary dollars in your budget. That is why I want you to stay on the top of your expenses, right? So that discretionary dollars could be allocated for things like that. So if we have 12 months, let's use this example, and we need $1,000, or let's say we need $1,200 for the wedding. That includes travel and all of those things. So that means that $100 out of your discretionary budget should be easily, hi Noreen, good to have you here, should be easily allocated into something like that. Now, what I don't want you to think about and say, hey, Anna, $1,000 is not that much money, or a few $1,000s is not that much money. I can just pull my credit card, right, and use that. I'm not going to argue with you that that's not a strategy to put in place, but if you want a more thought through approach so that when you are coming back from the wedding, you are not stuck with a credit card bill, that $100 a month is really not that much to think about, okay? So again, online savings accounts would be one of those. The site that Jim and I, my partner Jim Ludwig, use quite a bit is called bankrate.com. And I'll put this in the comments. So it's bankrate.com. And what I usually use it for is to look up the rates of, most recent things like mortgages, savings accounts, CDs, and so forth, right? Checking accounts. So check that out and look up money market or online savings accounts. Then you'll kind of have an idea what would be a good direction for you to go. All right. Now, the last piece of what I'm trying to convey to you today is this. I want you to be practical with the decision, right? If you are going to be participating in the wedding or if you're going to be attending the wedding. And what I mean by that is you have to look at your resources. What if you find yourself that you just, even $1,000 might be too much for what you're trying to accomplish? Because at the end of the day, you have to look at what you're trying to achieve. What are your other goals? It's like you may be having conflicting priorities because there's something that you're trying to focus on and get to, right? And all of a sudden this thing pops up that's very hard to say no to. So I want you not to feel guilty about that, okay? Because weddings are such a fun times and moments and someone that you really are close to, you love, and it's an important time in their life. That what happens if you don't go? And that's the question I want you to ask yourself, right? And it's quite okay to say no. I'm sure it's probably hard to say no to your family member, although I don't know. So, but consider that, okay? Because hi Mir, good to have you here. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one living with yourself, right? And what kind of costs are associated with that. If that's something that you've planned for and can afford, by all means, enjoy. But you have to find what I call this happy medium and balance, right? And sometimes you'd be like, oh my gosh, I've known this person for 20 years, right? Or this is my third cousin. How can I not go? Well, it's hard for me to answer this question. How can you not? Hi, Susan. Good to have you here. But what's more difficult for me to help you figure out is what should you focus on? Because that depends on you. And that kind of evolves around the priorities that you set for yourself. And remember, as we talk at the beginning of every money date, what are your goals and what are you focusing your resources on? That's it, my friends. That's really what it comes down to. So I've got to wrap up here for this session. If you found this useful, please share it out. Let me know if you have any workarounds in terms of, or tips or suggestions of how do you plan for a wedding, right? If you are going to attend it as a guest. And certainly I want you to go because it's exciting. Don't have any weddings planned this year. So last year, I forgot to mention, so we had two. So my brother, Alexei, and his now wife, Megan, had a smaller wedding in Maryland. So we actually had to fly cross country, and we brought Yuri's parents with us as well. So, which was all fun, right? Kind of a smaller party and everything. But what did it cost? Did it cost less than going to Hawaii? I think so, obviously, because we stayed with friends and family. So that turned out to be a little family reunion kind of gathering. So think about creative ways and ideas, right? Could you tie in wedding to a business trip? Ha! I just thought of this on the fly. Hi, Tanel. I know I owe you a call. Thanks for hopping on. I'm about to wrap up here. But I found this really cute quote I want to share with you guys before I close. And here it goes. You know you're in love when you can fall asleep, but when you can't fall asleep because the reality is finally better than your dreams. I wanted to end on a positive note. So how about that? So I hope your reality is much better than your dreams. And this is by Dr. Seuss. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned for another exciting topic. Bye for now.